first off, I want to ask really what you both think the state of the market is, how you both think 2014's gone, and what your plans are for the coming year.
Colin, do you want to start with that one?
Yeah, I mean, we've had an excellent year this year. We've seen some real growth in the marketplace. I think VEKA UK Group, we do Fensterbau in Germany, so we launched a number of new products at Fensterbau. We also did the Fit Show, which I thought was excellent. And yeah, it's been a really good year, and looking forward to next year.
What would you say the biggest area of growth is?
I think the biggest area of growth is in the retail market. And we've seen considerable growth in that market. I think consumers are now, confidence levels are back and starting to spend money now.
I think that's right. I mean, I don't know how 2014's gone for you, but I think you've had a good year as well.
It's been a positive year, I have to say. We're seeing more installers emerging in the marketplace. That backs up what you're saying, Colin. I think the other thing are trade counters. They're definitely growing.
Yeah.
You're seeing fabricators launching their own trade counters, increasing the number of buying points. It's all educating the market as well, of course, into expecting things sooner. And I guess that's going to be a real challenge for the industry to meet up those expectations.
It is that expectation. So you're seeing more suppliers, especially the trade counters as well, they're pushing this 24-hour or 48-hour turnaround. Absolutely.
I mean, it started with doorstop several years ago with the 3-day delivery. I think it's going to feed through now into this expectation of, I want it now.
Yeah, and that's the internet, being able to order something, reserve something, and then either pick it up right there and then, or have it delivered within a very short period of time.
Absolutely.
So, fair enough. And what do you think 2015 holds?
I think, like 2014, we're expecting a good year. We launched a number of new products. The Imagine bifold door and French door range has been very good for us. We have a number of new products starting in January that will be launched in the coming year.
Can you say anything about those?
Yeah, I mean, we have a new patio door system as part of the Imagine range. We have a new complete window system, which is probably around about end of first quarter. So yeah, there's a lot of good things going on. So looking forward to it.
It's an interesting development, I think. There's the new products coming into the marketplace are all value-added products. We've seen the new wave door, we've seen flush sash windows growing quite considerably.
Flush is a big...
It's a big thing, and it's good to see that, because I think the market has moved forward over the past few years on a pile it high, sell it cheap note. You look at any regional newspaper, what do you see? Get 5 windows and a door for a fixed price. And the worrying thing is too many installers still selling on price, not on benefits.
That's
and
true.
what the product can do. That's going to hammer margins and make life very difficult all around. Give the consumer what they need, not what they want, I think is the best way
It's a great point. I think the industry, to get into this industry, certainly on the system side, there's a very high cost of doing that. Developing new systems, again, another high cost, and yet the marketplace is still full of people selling very cheap.
It's the easy, lazy way to sell. I speak with my installations head on.
Sure.
The idea of selling on price never works for us. I don't like doing it anyway. I would rather sell on the quality of a product, the service that we offer. And for me, it means you can command a slightly higher price. Your business can maintain a margin, and the platform the business sits on is a solid one.
Sure.
It is, but the good thing that's coming through now as well is the colours. Colours are now very popular.
Yes.
They've grown massively in 2014, and again we still see that coming through. And I think there's less chance of that being price driven than the shiny white windows.
Absolutely,
so
it's
I think
part
that's
differentiation.
helping.
Yeah,
definitely.
Good. I know you've got a website coming soon.
Yeah, we've been a bit slow in promoting ourselves over the past few years, I've got to say. We've had our heads down, we've got on with the product development, and we're starting to take a bit more notice now of how we present ourselves. So new website about to launch. It follows, I suppose, our normal policy really, which is nuts and bolts. We're keeping it fairly simple, giving people the information that they need, and talking about the product that we've got, which is quite unique in several different ways. And we just want people to understand that having prospect data is important. It helps them to drive the business forward. If you know who your potential prospects are, go and look for them, go and talk to them. Why waste time trying to find them when you've got researched information that will help you to do that? And the ways that you can use that information, I think, is changing too. Email marketing, we've seen huge growth.
Oh, massive.
Massive growth. It's great, but I've got to say it's still a black art. We do an awful lot of it. We know so much of it disappears into the ether unless you do it properly. And we get some terrible examples coming through from some organisations, I've got to say, of e-shots that if you're lucky it's got into your inbox, but there's nothing to read. It's just full of
very
empty
good ones
spaces.
out there as well.
But there are some great ones out
Yeah.
there. But that's the thing, it needs effort and skill to get it right.
Can't just rush that sort of
Done
stuff,
properly,
can you? No.
it'll work well.
No.
But don't forget good old postal direct marketing. That's still got a huge tangible benefit.
Yeah.
Much harder to ignore. It starts working the moment it goes through your door, particularly if it's a
Well, you're forced to
postcard.
look at it, aren't you? It comes
You've
through your
got to.
letterbox, you have to look at it.
It's a
You
tangible
need to make sure it's not a bill.
Well, there is that
It's
too.
getting it right as well.
Of course.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
some terrible leaflets out there, but
There are.
equally some very good ones.
Uh-huh.
What I've always been interested in is how Windowbase keeps their data, their information up to date, because I imagine something
It's
like
a
that isn't...
huge challenge. This market is churning massively. We made about 110,000 changes to the database over the past 12 months. And I suppose what perhaps sets us apart a bit is the way we research, is that we don't just give our research team a copy of the information that's already on the database and say, go ahead and just check that hasn't changed. We actually give them blank questionnaires.
Yeah.
Even though we already know a great deal of information about particular businesses, they've got to go out and ask the questions all over again. So we genuinely research the marketplace every time. And it stops the situation where somebody's just saying, oh yeah, that's all the same, nothing's changed, just to get you off the phone.
Yeah.
My team have got to be skilled at getting through and talking to people.
So you know your product is quality then. So you know
Yeah.
from the beginning it's well researched, it's well backed up.
Absolutely. And once we've got the information, we check it against what we've already got and we investigate things that don't look right, make further calls, and only once we're happy does it actually end up back on the database.
Yeah.
So it's a constant updating process, but one that we're very passionate about. Work very hard at
It's
doing.
peace of mind for your customers as well, isn't it?
Well, absolutely. The last thing we want is for people like Colin to send out information, particularly by post, and get lots of returns back because people have moved, they've closed down. That's the last thing we want. So we're very passionate about getting it right.
The NFAs are into their second year. 2014 for us has been a great year. We've had massive growth ourselves. Why did VEKA and Windowbase decide that this was the time to get involved?
I think what we like to do, we like to support companies in the industry. We've always done that. We've always tried to do exhibitions, awards, and we do like to look at and be involved with up-and-coming companies. So that was really the main reason for doing it. We looked at it last year. I think it seems to be a lot better put together this year.
Yeah, we agree with that. We agree with that, yeah, definitely.
So we thought, yeah, why not? Let's give it a try.
Yeah.
So that was our reason.
And as I said earlier, we've been a bit quiet perhaps in promoting ourselves, and we've started to look at opportunities, particularly slightly different opportunities. And I think the NFAs are different. They're not like other awards because of the way that they're run, because of the way that they're nominated and voted for. And we felt that was refreshing. And again, we like to support new and upcoming organisations and businesses. And see this as being something that's here for the long term. It's not just a
that's
fashion plan
certainly the
award.
plan.
Well, I appreciate that's your plan, and I think that's the right way to do it. And I think this year you'll see your success even greater than last year, and next year surely will be a springboard.
I hope so. I mean, from the first year, going back to Colin's comment, we won't lie, this year has been run far smoother. We've been able to incorporate more categories. Even if something as just the website looks and runs a lot smoother than the first version did. But then again, nothing's ever perfect first time round, is it? So,
Yeah.
and we constantly make little tweaks and improvements.
Yeah, it's a lot more professional this year. You can see that. You can see the difference.
That's reassuring. That's good.
And presume that's resulted in more people getting involved
You
in
told
it.
me to say that.
Well, the numbers actually. We're way beyond 1,000 registered users. This is
That's
over
really
1,000
impressive.
genuine single people from all corners, from steel, alley timber,
Which is
glass,
great.
PVC,
Yeah.
all taking the time to nominate or vote.
Sure.
Take part in the Cool Wall, for example. And to have such massive engagement like that, people prepared to take the time out of the day to do that.
Sure.
It's reassuring for us, and we know that what we've got is working
Yeah.
for us. Okay. Going back to VEKA again, you've got an installation scheme.
We have.
Which is going rather well.
It's going extremely well. It's so, way above my expectations, I'll be honest. VEKA, started off Network VEKA, which was the first installer support group 18 years ago.
Okay.
So what we see is the installer scheme that we have now is a second tier to Network VEKA. And we didn't expect it to take off the way it did. And we've just been completely inundated with inquiries and people looking to join.
So how does it work then? So if I'm an installations business,
yeah.
how do I go to VEKA and say, what is this? How do I join? What's the benefits?
What we do, we have a sales team out there who actually sell installation. As you know, we are a systems company, and what we want to do is basically sell lots of plastic.
Mm-hmm.
But the way to do it is, as Neil says, there's lots of changes. There's less and less fabricators now.
There is.
And certainly more installers.
Yep, indeed.
So we found that the installer is the route to market.
Sure.
So we started concentrating on getting the installers involved in the scheme, helping them with sales support, marketing, and just sitting down and talking to them about what they want to do. And a number of them have said, we want to be part of a systems company, like a fabricator.
Okay.
So we want to be able to talk to you guys, give you ideas, and take them on board.
And it's
And
that
that's what we're
communication, information, process, and the marketing backup.
It is, yeah. And to be fair, the fabricators have taken it on board as well.
Yeah.
And everybody's delighted with it, yeah.
Good.
Well, I guess
It's
it gives
really
you
good.
greater control as well, because you can only, in the first stage, control up to the fabricator stage. What happens to your product and brand afterwards, to an extent, was out of your control.
Well, definitely, because most of the, I would say, companies we deal with are trade, so they don't install.
Sure.
So our product is then moving on to people who have never made a window before, but then they're installing it, so therefore they're the face to the consumer.
Sure. Yeah.
And as you know, there's certain criteria come in now: CE marking, insurance back guarantees, MTCs.
There's been a lot of change.
So again, part of it is to make sure that all of these companies comply with the
Right,
regulations.
so installation companies have to be compliant in all those new rule changes, CE marked, MTC qualified, and so on. So,
Or they can't become part of the scheme.
so right,
Either
so,
installer scheme or Network VEKA.
so so in essence, really, you're sourcing the cream of the crop, aren't you?
We are. I mean, Network VEKA have always been there simply because Network VEKA has its own competent person scheme.
Okay.
They're the only systems company in the whole of the UK that has that. So it's something we push. They're called Assure. So they've been established for 2 years now.
Yep.
So what we're doing now is come off the back of the success of Network VEKA.
Okay, very good. As I said before, the NFAs are here to stay. So one interesting question I'd like to ask both of you is where you would see the awards in about 5 years' time.
That's an interesting one. I certainly think they're going to obviously grow significantly. What I will think you'll see is a lot more interest from, should we say, the fringe parts of the business, the new and innovative products. And I think encouraging innovation is something I think the NFAs really could seize and take perhaps more control of. Because it's those areas that make the market really positive, dynamic, extra things to say. They add value in lots of different ways.
Yeah.
And I think that's something which I do see them championing, perhaps, and certainly going on to great things in years to come, growing very much to become one of the really premier awards in the industry.
Working with Windowbase, of course.
Of course.
What do you think, Colin?
I think it's you've come in at the right time. The market is now starting to increase. That there's more proactiveness going on in the marketplace. So you've probably come in at the right time. Someone who's been in the industry a long time, I've seen some good things come and go. But that comes down to the people who are running them as well. So what if it's down to you? It's where you want to be in
No
5
pressure
years'
then.
time. I mean, as I say, we're happy to support anything that we feel will help our company succeed.
Yeah.
But it needs somebody to drive that success as well.
I think anyone who knows me can't say I'm not hardworking enough. But the one thing I'm proud with the awards is going back to what Neil said about the fringe areas as well. Perhaps shining some light on the areas that don't always get
absolutely.
the column inches. We're particularly proud that we could get a steel award.
Yeah, that's great.
Handed out this year. We didn't manage to do that last year, and that's something we've been able to do this time round.
Yeah, good.
The digital marketing category is another new one. To not recognise that would be...
It would be a real omission, wouldn't it?
It would, because there's so many, and you've probably noticed so many specific industry-related digital companies.
Yes.
Whether it's just data like yourselves or marketing specifically.
Yeah, definitely.
and design, there's a lot of industry-based IT guys out there that need some recognition.
Sure.
And the other one being the timber alternative category.
Yes.
That is not a niche anymore.
No, not at all.
There's a lot of either specific timber alternative companies or systems companies like yourselves or fabricators doing their own timber alternative products as well. So again, to ignore that, we just didn't want to do that because it's a lot more than a niche now.
Absolutely, it's blossoming all the time. Yeah.
One thing to point out is that voting is still live, so when this gets aired, there'll be about roughly 2 or 3 weeks left to vote.
Get voting.
Yes, get voting. Every single one does count. There's a lot of people in there, you know, hoping for your support. And a lot of the categories, I can't say too much, but there's some categories which are still very, very close at this point, which is surprising. So it really does mean every vote counts. To take part in that, it will be free to register.
Sure.
It only takes a minute. You click a confirmation link in an email we send you, and that's it. You're free to take part.
Sure. And it's one vote, one person.
One vote, one person.
Yeah, that's good.
We have total control over the system, so it cannot be abused.
Sure.
So we know every vote's a genuine vote.
That's good.
Of course it is. Yeah.
I see everything that comes in. It's mind blowing. So, but at least we know the system's not being abused.
Yeah.
Important date that finishes December the 1st. So you won't be able to vote after that. Everything is final after that.
Good.
And what we plan to do is just before Christmas, before we all break up for a well-deserved rest, we'll be announcing the winners via a special video, which went down quite well last year. So we're going to do that again.
Okay.
Sure. Good.
And as you know, we plan a race day, end of March, to hand the trophies to the deserving winners and the main event sponsors, and hopefully have a fun day out racing as well.
Good.
Yep, sounds good to me too.
All right. So I'd like to thank you both for coming
Yeah,
along.
thank you very much.
Good to see you.
Yep, good to see you too.